Hi, my name's Natalie Ledwell, and today I'm going to talk about how to overcome negative thinking by reprogramming your subconscious beliefs. Now, do you know someone in your life who repeats the same self-depreciating behavior over and over again? Maybe it's someone who sees themselves as a failure despite their many successes in life, or someone who's often broke despite earning a ton of money. Now, can you identify a person like that in your life? Is that person perhaps you? You see, these and other negative behaviours are usually the result of living through a traumatic experience or an experience that has a strong emotional attachment for you for when you were a child. So later on, they manifest in our adult lives again and again and again, causing frustration and pain and regret. Now, these experiences can seriously damage your relationships, your success, and your prosperity. And the worst part is that they may even be subconscious beliefs. Now, you may be doing and saying these things almost on autopilot without you even thinking about it. So if you take a moment to have a look at all the different areas in your life, your wealth, your career, your relationships, your health, is there an area in your life that you're struggling with? And could there possibly be some subconscious programming that's holding you back that's related to something that happened to you when you were a childhood? So what's the difference between your conscious and your subconscious mind? Well, your conscious mind is what most people associate you with. It's what you use to communicate with the outside world, and it's your thinking mind. It's your analytical mind, and it processes about 40 bits of data per second. Now, your subconscious mind, on the other hand, is in charge of nearly every function in your body. It's in charge of all your programs, all your memories, and it's basically in charge 90 to 99% of the time, depending on who you talk to. Now, the subconscious mind is like our supercomputer. It's the main part of our brain, and it processes 40 million bits of data per second. So can you imagine being aware of all of that? Oh my God. So all of our memories and our past experiences are all stored away in our subconscious mind, and then they are connected through to our conscious mind through our reticular activating system. Now, this is seen through and experienced through things like feelings and emotions and imagination and sensations and dreams. So how do we deal with these damaging experiences and negative thoughts? Well, when we can identify them, we can actually eliminate them. And we can unlock our minds to see all the positives and the great things that we actually have in our life. And this is exactly what you'll discover in this video. So step one is to identify what these negative thoughts are. So the first step for breaking free from having the same self-destructive thoughts and behaviors is recognizing that we have them in the first place. And believe me, if you can put your finger here and you can feel a pulse, you have them, because we've all had them. It's just part of our human development. So if you've ever set a goal, if you've ever set an intention, and then you have this little voice or these thoughts coming through in your head that's telling you why you can't do it and all the reasons why you're not worthy, then we know that we have some subconscious program that's sabotaging our success. Now, obviously, no one wants to live with them, but these negative childhood beliefs become such a big part of our identity that we think it's too late or too hard to change them. And most of the time, we are completely unaware that we're even entertaining them, because we've been thinking these thoughts for 30 or 40 or 50 years. And so what happens is that becomes so natural and normal to us that we don't even realize that they're working against us. Now, we call these things imprints because they actually get imprinted into our subconscious minds. Now, even when they're causing us pain, sometimes we choose to stay in that painful place or distract ourselves from acknowledging that we have these thoughts simply because it feels more comfortable than doing something about it. Now, there's a scientific explanation as to why this happens. You see, for every thought that we have, there is an emotion attached to it. And for every emotion that we have, there is a chemical makeup that is connected to that as well. So when we are being consistently in a place of frustration and helplessness and unworthiness and hopelessness, then the emotions that are attached to that and the chemicals that are attached to those emotions then gets fed through to the cells in our body. Now, what happens is the cells in our body start to get addicted and start to get used to this particular chemical. So when we try and do something great and try and change our thoughts and get into places of gratitude and joy and happiness, our body's going, wait a minute, I don't like this chemical, I'm addicted to the other one. So this is what feels more comfortable to stay in a place of pain. Now, it can certainly feel terrifying to face our fears, but the truth is it's the only way for us to move forward. And when we come to facing our fears and the things that happened to us when we were children, I think the thing that scares us the most is that the reason that we took on all of these thoughts and these behaviors and these patterns to safeguard us is because we couldn't handle the emotion of that moment when we were 3 or when we were 5. And so when we think about it, we think about experiencing that version of the emotion. But you see, now we're adults and we have the capacity and the strength and the heart to be able to handle these emotions now. So it's not as scary as you think. Okay, so step number 2 is to set goals. So once you've identified and accepted that there actually are a few things that you need to change about yourself, then just set yourself a couple of attainable and realistic goals, and the more specific the better. So for example, if you realize that you have a negative belief around money, and therefore you're overspending a lot, then one of your goals might be to don't do any shopping while I'm bored, or don't go online late at night. It could also be make sure that I have a certain amount of money that I spend and that I stay within my budget. Okay, so have goals that are really attainable, that are quite specific. I mean, or if you identify your childhood limiting belief is that you're not worthy of love, and that's why you end up in toxic relationships, then your goal might look like something like, I embody self-love and self-respect by doing something good for myself every single day. Or just saying something simple like, I do something out of love for myself every single day. Maybe you get yourself a bunch of flowers, or you take a relaxing bubble bath. Whatever it is, do something every day that's going to be for your own self-care, and write it down and stick to it and make sure that you're reaching these goals. Okay, so step number 3 is to create change. So if you want to create change, you need to start by detaching yourself from the negative thoughts or the imprint that you've believed to be true. So for each of your beliefs, think of a specific situation where you did something that was the opposite of your belief. Okay, so let's say, for example, your negative childhood belief is that you're not talented enough. Okay, so what you do is write down, it's like, I'm not talented enough to sing. And then on the next side to that, to put a line down the middle of the page on the other side of that, and write, this proves to be untrue because I won a singing competition when I was 12. Or it could be something like, this proves to not be true because every time I sing, I get complimented on my singing. Now, this exercise is effective because it shows you that there are flaws in your negative beliefs and that they are just that. They're just beliefs and they're not necessarily true. So I highly encourage you to keep adding as many examples as you can so that you can counteract these negative subconscious childhood beliefs. Okay, so step number 4 is to discover the source. So think back to your childhood environment or to a specific situation when you were a child or when you were a teenager and the first time this belief emerged. So what triggered this belief? Now, a personal example for me is my belief around money. Now, I grew up in a family of 8 kids in a country town. Now, we weren't poor, but we certainly struggled when it came to money a little bit. And I knew that when, to get money, my programming was, I saw my dad work 3 to 4 jobs, that you had to work hard to get money. And so this was my belief around that. And it wasn't like one specific event, but it was this environment that I was in. And if there was any, stress in the household, more often than not, it was about money. And so as an adult, when I'd have discussions about money, it always would turn into this angsty conversation that was like, aggravated, but it was only because I didn't realize I was emulating the behavior that I saw when I was a child. So think about what caused or triggered this belief for you. What experiences brought you to this conclusion? And understanding how these beliefs were formed can actually help you work through them more effectively. And you may realize that these are linked to childhood memories that no longer serve you. So if you're feeling negative energy towards this memory or this experience, see if you can come up with a resolution for it, or simply give yourself permission to let it go. realize it was just an event and how you interpreted this event as a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old. Give it light, give it love, and release it. Now, there's a number of ways that you can do that. You can simply write it out on paper, scrunch it up, and throw it in the trash. You can write it out on paper, burn it, and get rid of it. And then just say, I give you love, I give you joy, and I release you. And just the process of doing that will actually help you to release this negative thought and these negative programs. Okay, so step number 5 is to find support. Surround yourself with people that have your back and with people that you can trust. Find yourself an accountability partner. If you know someone who's also on a personal development track as well, team up together, set these little goals, make it, become accountable to each other to keep yourselves on track. And if you don't have that kind of support around, find a group online. Now, before I go, I'd like to hear from you. Do you have any other tips that have helped you get rid of negative feelings? If you have, please share them in the comment box below. And don't forget to subscribe to the Mind Movies YouTube channel for more videos on personal growth and the law of attraction. My name is Natalie Ledwell. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.